Namaste. Welcome back to the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam with me, friends. Thank you so much for being regular at listening in. I hope all of you have subscribed. If not, please do that right away. For those of you who are joining in for the first time, thank you so much. Welcome. And I request you not just to subscribe, but you please start listening from the very beginning. I have provided the link of the first part in the commentary section or the description section of this video. So please start from there, and in no time you will be able to catch up to where we are. So friends, we have finished reading first canto. We are currently reading the second canto, and we are reading the translation and purport by Swami A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada. So we have completed reading 8 chapters of the second canto. We are in the 9th chapter, and today we will continue our reading from text 3. Yerihi vava mahimni sve parasmin kala mayayoha rameta gata sammohas tyaktvo daste tadobhyam. Translation: as soon as the living entity becomes situated in his constitutional glory and begins to enjoy the transcendence beyond time and material energy, he at once gives up the two misconceptions of life, I and mine, and thus becomes fully manifested as the pure self. Purport: the two misconceptions of life, namely I and mine, are verily manifested in two classes of men. In the lower state, the conception of mind is very prominent, and in the higher state, the misconception of I is prominent. In the animal state of life, the misconception of mine is perceivable even in the category of cats and dogs, who fight with one another with the same misconception of mine. In the lower stage of human life, the same misconception is also prominent in the shape of it is my body, it is my house, it is my family, it is my caste, it is my nation, it is my country, and so on. And in the higher stage of speculative knowledge, the same misconception of mine is transformed into I am, or it is all I am, etc. There are many classes of men comprehending the same misconception of I and mine in different colors. But the real significance of I can be realized only when one is situated in the consciousness of I am the eternal servitor of the Lord. This is pure consciousness, and the whole Vedic literatures teach us this conception of life. The misconception of I am the Lord or I am the Supreme is more dangerous than the misconception of mine. Although there are sometimes directions in the Vedic literatures to think oneself one with the Lord, that does not mean that one becomes identical with the Lord in every respect. Undoubtedly, there is oneness of the living entity with the Lord in many respects, but ultimately the living entity is subordinate to the Lord, and he is constitutionally meant for satisfying the senses of the Lord. The Lord therefore asks the conditioned souls to surrender unto him. Had the living entities not been subordinate to the supreme will, why would the living entity be asked to surrender? Had the living entity been equal in all respects, then why was he put under the influence of Maya? We have already discussed many times that the material energy is controlled by the Lord. The Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 10 confirms this controlling power of the Lord over the material nature. Can a living entity who claims to be as good as a supreme being control the material nature? The foolish I would reply that he will do so in the future. Even accepting that in the future one will be as good a controller of material nature as the supreme being, then why is one now under the control of material nature? The Bhagavad Gita says that one can be freed from the control of the material nature by surrendering unto the Supreme Lord, but if there is no surrender, then the living entity will never be able to control the material nature. So one must also give up this misconception of I by practicing the way of devotional service or firmly being situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. A poor man without any employment or occupation may undergo so many troubles in life. But if by chance the same man gets a good service under the government, he at once becomes happy. There is no profit in denying the supremacy of the Lord, who is the controller of all energies. But one should be constitutionally situated in one's own glory, namely to be situated in the pure consciousness of being the eternal servitor of the Lord. In his conditional life, the living entity is servant of the illusory Maya, and in his liberated state, he is the pure, unqualified servant of the Lord. To become untinged by the modes of material nature is the qualification for entering into the service of the Lord. As long as one is a servant of mental concoctions, one cannot be completely free from the disease of I and mine. The Supreme Truth is uncontaminated by the illusory energy because He is the controller of that energy. The relative truths are apt to be engrossed in illusory energy. The best purpose is served, however, when one is directly facing the Supreme Truth, as when one faces the sun. The sun overhead in the sky is full of light. But when the sun is not in the visible sky, all is in darkness. Similarly, when one is face to face with the Supreme Lord, he is freed from all illusions, and one who is not so is in the darkness of illusory Maya. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 26 confirms this as follows. Mam cha yo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati yaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So the science of bhakti yoga, of worshipping the Lord, glorifying the Lord, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam from the right sources, not from the professional man, but from a person who is Bhagavatam in life, and being always in the association of pure devotees, should be adopted in earnestness. One should not be misled by misconceptions of I and mine. The karmis are fond of the conception of mine, the jnanis are fond of the conception of I, and both of them are unqualified to be free from the bondage of the illusory energy. Srimad Bhagavatam and primarily the Bhagavad Gita are both meant for delivering a person from the misconception of I and mine, and Srila Vyasadeva transcribed them for the deliverance of the fallen souls. The living entity has to be situated in the transcendental position where there is no more influence of time nor of the material energy. In conditioned life, the living entity is subject to the influence of time in the dream of past, present, and future. The mental speculator tries to conquer the influence of time by future speculations of becoming Vasudeva or the Supreme Lord Himself by means of culturing knowledge and conquering over ego. But the process is not perfect. The perfect process is to accept Lord Vasudeva as the Supreme in everything, and the best perfection in culturing knowledge is to surrender unto Him because He is the source of everything. Only in that conception can one get rid of the misconception of I and mine. Both Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam confirm it. Srila Vyasadeva has specifically contributed to the illusioned living entities, the science of God, and the process of Bhakti Yoga in his great literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the conditioned soul should fully take advantage of this great science. Friends, at this point I would like to talk to you from the bottom of my heart about looking at what we just now read from the perspective of what is happening today. We all are dealing with this terrible pandemic of COVID-19. We have the time to introspect, so I request all of you to please spend a little time and think, what is the lesson we can learn from what's happening? One tiny, not even a living organism, one tiny little virus, which is a non-living entity, is creating such a havoc across the globe. What all we thought as the supreme species, and in the name of development, we did so many things, and we thought we not just rule over all the other living entities, but can exploit it the way we want. We can just almost like, actually what almost I should say, eat them off, finish them, we can kill them according to our own whims and fancy, and it's all right because we have the power to do so. But today it is time for us to reflect and see, are we being taught a lesson by the universe? We cannot go on with our whims and fancies, with the misconception we have of that we are so powerful and we can control the whole world, the whole universe. We can go and start living on the moon and God knows what. We don't even know. We have not even learned in all these years how to properly live on this planet Earth in a harmonious manner. We need to really become conscious of this fact and make an effort to first understand how we fit into this entire ecosystem and how we need to responsibly live in harmony with everything that exists around us. Yes, a lot of things are being provided to be made use of by us. Our Father, our Creator, has provided that for us. But not everything in the name of enjoying. We have to responsibly utilize what has been given for its purpose and also do our bit of contributing the way we are meant to contribute back to the universe. And most importantly, not forget the reason we are here. To understand life, to grow from where we are, get the right understanding and transcend from this miserable life. We think only misery has hit us now with this pandemic. I'm sorry. Misery has been there always, all through. You might have escaped for a few moments. That's it. But we have not been able to keep diseases, death, all these worrisome things away from us for too long. People are dying every day. We have no idea of what's going to happen next moment. And we think we are controlling not just our life, but the life of everything that exists. How foolish can we be? We need to really, really wake up. We know we are not in control of anything. We know if you're born, we have to die. And that death may hit us any moment. And we are amazingly complex, intelligent beings. There must be a reason for us to be the way we are. It's not just to get skilled and just make some money and then in the name of enjoyment just do crazy stuff. Either we are living like animals, who have no idea, unfortunately, of their probably purpose to the extent we can be. But they are much better than human beings today. I promise that. They at least live according to, how the nature has kind of created them to live. We are not even doing that. So really, we need to wake up, friends, really. We never had enough time. We don't have time even now. We never knew what's going to happen to us next moment then, and we don't know it now, nor will we know in the future. So we need to really wake up and understand how to live in the moment What are we supposed to do? What's our purpose? Why are we here? Where have we come from? Where are we headed? Why are we even living this life? If we don't understand this and we are making a living, I really don't know what's the worth of such a life. And if you're gone, what's the big difference it's making to anybody? What great contribution are we making to this world for the world to miss us actually? Oh, leave a legacy, people should remember you by this. Forget about that. Forget about what will happen to you and your name and your dependents after you're gone. First, learn to take care of yourself. Put the oxygen mask on yourself before, providing the oxygen to your dependents. First, learn. Why are you breathing? Why do you exist? And then try to make a living, and then that life has some value, some worth. Otherwise, you have come accidentally, you will go accidentally, you have been living accidentally. And again, you will take birth somewhere, something will happen. If not in the human form, you may be born in an animal form, you may become a snake, you may become a pig. Even I may become a pig. It all depends on what are we doing in our current lives at this moment that decides what is it that is going to happen to a future. We are, I don't know whether to call it fortunately or sometimes unfortunately, extremely powerful beings. We are creating our future. Wow. We are not even aware of it, and we are creating our future. Sometimes I wish we didn't have that power. Because we are not using our intelligence, but we are using our power. That's extremely dangerous. Forget to the rest of the world, but to ourselves and our loved ones. We are using our emotions, our intelligence in the wrong way, in the wrong direction. That's like being a terrorist for ourselves. So friends, let's wake up. Let's become conscious of these most important things in life. Before it's too late, life is short and there's a lot to learn before we start living and before it's time for us to move on. We have to do things because of what we owe to our Creator. We are meant to do things for our own sake, for our own spirit soul's sake, for our own growth's sake. And we are meant to do certain things for the sake of the ones we have brought into this world and those who are less fortunate than us in understanding all these things. If we have the capacity to understand, it's a responsibility to understand and accordingly contribute in this world and play our role with that awareness and consciousness. We can't get away from that. If you're dumb, it's okay, but if you're intelligent and act dumb, that's difficult to tolerate, isn't it? Ask yourself, which category do you belong? If you're ignorant, if you're dumb and you don't have that faculties, great, okay. Then you're doing just your best and that's okay. Take the shelter of somebody who you think can guide you and make sure that you lead your life properly. But if you think you are an amazingly intelligent person, then please use the intelligence appropriately. Ask yourself, what are you even doing? Every minute you're busy. If you're not busy, you're bored. But what are you busy with? Why are you bored? Anyways, sorry for getting a little carried away, but this is, believe me, what you will feel like when you start introspecting and thinking. So friends, let's think more on these lines. Let's wake up. Let's become conscious. Let's live our life the way it's meant to live. Let's stop just following with the herd mentality. Let's make a difference to our life and to the life of our loved ones and to this world together. So I'll see you again soon. We'll end the session today here. I hope you are enjoying it, continue sending me your questions, your comments, your suggestions. I will see you all very soon. Till then, take care. Hare Krishna.